Sam Logue here for irishboxing.com. I'm delighted to be joined by Thomas Carty in his house here in PHIBSBORO. Lovely house.
You're in Casa del Carty now at the moment.
That's it. I feel like I'm doing a bleeding segment of Cribs or something. It's gas. Thomas, thanks for having me up, man. Great. I didn't catch you post-fight, unfortunately. We saw each other briefly just after you'd fought. You came out into the stadium. We were walking, do you remember? And we had a quick little embrace, quick chat, and then you were off to your fans and off to everyone else. But and I didn't see you then. But come here to me before we get into anything. How did you get on after the fight? Did you go out for a few, just celebrate a little bit?
So after the fight, directly after the fight, I went in, got changed, came out, and it was just madness. Everybody was coming over running, getting pictures with me and stuff like that. Seeing everybody that had bought tickets from me, and then everybody else, all the other Irish fans. There was a lot of Irish fans, even Dublin people there the other night that didn't get tickets from me, that were there watching anyways for me fight. So it was actually really nice to see that, you know, I had imagined there'd be the couple of hundred tickets that I sold. They'd definitely be there, but there's a good few other 100 people there watching, you know what I mean? So I said there was probably, would there have been a couple of 2,000 people there when I fought? Maybe, you know, scattered among the whole arena, you know what I mean? So it was great. It was great to see so many people that I didn't even know there to watch me. It was brilliant, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And did you get a bit of celebration in afterwards?
Oh yeah, so we went to Raglan Road, but there was a pub in Nottingham, Raglan Road. They looked after us very well actually, but I was in no humour of drinking really, you know what I mean? It's a big massive come down, so you're not in the humour of drinking. I don't drink anyways really, so before the fight you're like, I'm gonna get locked, I'm gonna go mad, and I'm gonna drink all the vodka under the sun. No humour. I was drinking Coke Zeros, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we went to Raglan Road. We had a late one, but not due to the fact of me being drunk, just getting to see everybody and getting around, and it was a great night.
Class, man. So let's actually talk about the fight. You had a 5th round stoppage against MICHAL, BOLOZ, who's a good standard Polish heavyweight. He came to fight, to be fair to him. Obviously, before the fight, Eddie had kind of piped up a little bit, saying this is going to be a tough fight. But in there, you comprehensively outboxed him. Talk to me about the fight.
Yeah, it was good. My own breakdown of the fight is that the plan always was, we knew he was a big, dangerous guy in shape, you know what I mean? The guy, he wasn't going to shy away. He wasn't going to try and box me, you know what I mean? He was always going to come to fight, and he was going to come and try and upset the night, you know what I mean? Yeah. He was definitely a guy that was in shape. He looked the part. So the plan always was to jab and move for 2 rounds, round or two. Suss him out, see what he's like. My first time boxing for 6 rounds, so I knew we had time, no big deal. Don't get caught cold, you know, don't get caught early, work the jab and take it from there. So I did that, went out first round, and I thought first round was a masterclass. Probably the best first round I've ever had, because sometimes I'd be guilty of being a slow starter. So first round was good. I was starting to try to slot in the left hand, but the guy kept coming in low with his head, you know what I mean? I thought he maybe should have been warned, got a point taken away for going down low with the head, because it was completely unnecessary how low he was going. I get you're trying to dodge punches, but it was, you know, a couple of times I actually have a sore rib from me headbutting me in the stomach. You shouldn't be getting headbutted in the stomach, you know what I mean? Really. So I think had he have gotten a point taken away, it would have changed the dynamic of the fight. He wouldn't have gone down low so much. He would have got caught with a lot more left hands and got stopped earlier. Yeah. I think personally, do you know what I mean? I think that the referee could have done a better job on that. A couple of times I complained, he's dangerous with the head. He didn't really want to have a shootout with me. He wanted to come in, grab and hold, and hope for a lucky punch in the clinch or something like that. Now, I get clinching as a part of boxing, no problem, but not coming in dangerous low at the head. It would have changed the dynamic of the fight. I think he would have been stopped earlier, you know. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not giving out either. I get things happen and there's different perspectives, but I just thought that the whole low at the head was unnecessary, because he was just trying to avoid punches, but you can't do that. It's illegal, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get you. With that in mind, first of all, have you actually watched it back and assessed it? And then with what you just said in mind, could you have adapted better in the ring to the stuff he was doing? Were you happy with your performance in general?
I was really happy with my performance. A lot of things went on in camp that people don't really know, so I won't even get into it, but I was happy with the performance to get the win. There was that element, a bit of a monkey on my back with all those Irish fans there. My first time experiencing that, such a big occasion. first on the card out of the Irish lads. I didn't want to let the team down early, you know what I mean? So there's all these things playing in your mind. Delighted with the performance. I thought it was a mature performance. The guy, in fairness to him, he did come to fight. Strong guy. I'm always very critical of myself. Definitely not to finish the article. Would have liked him to use a lot more left hands. I thought, but it was hard to catch him. I will say it was hard to catch him. I could have adapted better through more uppercuts. I didn't actually think that the fight was going to play out the way it did. I thought there would be a lot more shootout. If someone wants a shootout with me, no one's going to win that sort of a fight, because if he's there to be hit, he'd be hit. Yeah. He was taking himself out of the shootout by going down low. So it is what it is. It's another learning curve for me in terms of a different style of opponent. He's in shape. He never stopped coming forward. So happy with the performance, but definitely a lot to work on. I've watched it back myself, but I haven't watched it critically with my coach. So we'll do that this week at some stage.
Very good. Yeah, no, it was interesting you said about the uppercuts and stuff like that as well. It did look from where we were, it was quite close to the ring, and it did look like there was an opportunity for that shot. But I suppose it just goes to show that it's really.
I did catch him with a few.
Yeah, you did.
You know what I mean? A few nice ones.
Early enough, you got him with
with a couple of nice body shots. But it was just messy then. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like a couple of times you're saying he just wanted to grab me. Like a couple of times I was good I thought my footwork was very good. Yeah. A couple of times I got out of the way of the punches, and then he just runs and grabs me. His arms are like this. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It's a good learning curve for me in terms of having to utilise that uppercut a bit more. You know what I mean? Because it's a great shot that I do throw. Not enough though.
100%. So what did your immediate team say to you about the fight afterwards? Was Packy happy with it?
They were happy, yeah. Everybody was happy. It was a good performance. The lads thought a bit more self-belief, he said, and considering the skill level that I just remember, the skills that I have, they said I could have disposed with a guy like that in 2 rounds. You know what I mean? They really back me, and they really believe in the talent I have. It's a case of me just believing in my own hype now. You know what I mean? I really need to double down on how talented I am. You know what I mean? Because I'm getting all these compliments from all these people. It's not lies, it's not smoke at this stage. There's too many people saying how good I am for it to be a biased opinion. Do you know what I mean? It's a known fact that I'm fundamentally a very good boxer. I have huge power. I know I have really, really big power. Like I do. I throw punches with venom. I missed him with a left hook there at one stage. I would have took his head off. And as well, I missed it with a right hook. I threw a right hook and I got caught. And the black thing, I think he was walking on the right hook. I got caught in the ropes. So that would have been game over, I think, if I had a come with that. I could have tore a bicep or something like that, yeah. But I forget where I was at. But yeah, that's the crack.
So have you spoken to DUBLIN post-fight, or have you spoken to your management crew, and were they happy enough with your performance, and what have they said to you about kind of going forward now?
Well, no, I haven't spoken DUBLIN in particular since the fight. I'm going to go see him though before the Tyson Fury fight. I'm going to do a week or so out camp with him and just see how he's getting on and check in with him and the team. Magic that done my hand wraps, the cut man, he's actually my day-to-day manager. He's the one that looks after me. So he was the one that said you need to back yourself more. He said you could have dealt with that guy in 2 rounds. You don't realise how good you are. He said your level's above these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's touch on that a little bit, because it's an interesting like sports psychology kind of conversation. What do you think that is, that you're getting the praise, but perhaps you aren't believing in yourself fully to allow yourself to really flow in there? What do you think that is, and how do you get that belief? How do you then start transitioning that into your performances?
It's just a learning curve. People see, because I'm on this stage now, I was on a Matchroom show there the other night. It's only my 3rd fight. You know what I mean? People need to relax and remember, 3rd fight, learning on the job here. You know what I mean? I'm hanging around all these lads. Gary Cully is an established world elite fighter. Kevin Hines the same. Michael Conlan. I'm years waiting these fellas. You know what I mean? Give me a second. Give me a chance. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's great. I love the attention. Not the finished article. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm a serious fighter. Great fighter. I do loads in the gym. It's about just bringing that from the gym to the ring. And it's happening. It's like progressively I'm getting better. People said I used to not be aggressive enough. My last fight, I was too aggressive. This fight then I thought was a good balance between the two. As the rounds went on, in the 4th and the 5th round, I started to open up more. 6th round, it would have been a massacre, I'd say, in the 6th round. You know, he was tiring. I only get fitter. I'm a thoroughbred in the ring for a heavyweight. You know what I mean? The 6th rounds suit me. I was only getting going. You know what I mean? So give me a second, not to finish the article yet. There is no problems with self-belief. I definitely believe in myself, but it's believing in how good I actually am. Because you know, my manager and the lads, they've seen me spar elite fighters. They've been there. They've seen the margins. You know what I mean? They're backing me all the way. Like, we're not. I don't think that Pascal and stuff like that is blowing smoke or anything like that, because he doesn't do that, you know what I mean? He doesn't spoof in interviews, and he doesn't spoof talking about people. They back me, you know what I mean? So, and there's an awful lot of boxing people that back me. So, you know, nobody's lying here, you know what I mean? Everybody must believe what they're saying. So we're in it for the long haul. Not to finish the article. It won't be this time next year, or even probably the year after. We're in it, you know what I mean? We're in it for the long haul, and we're going to build. And even when I'm the finished article, I still won't be happy, won't be satisfied, because that's just the attitude that I have. I'm always building and working, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely. It does. It takes time, doesn't it? But let's talk a little bit about the atmosphere in the arena and your fans. We did kind of touch on it, but what kind of effect does that have on you when you're getting in there? Does that add to the nerves? Did it add something to your performance? You know, how does it affect you? And then just the general atmosphere as well as the night grew on.
The atmosphere was class. When I walked out and the song came on, Free From Desire, and I looked around and I seen everybody lose that shit. It was madness. I've never experienced that like that before. And I was saying to the lads, it's mad that none of yous will, like Moses, you know, not fighters, will never experience that, because it was just, it's unbelievable, you know what I mean? And that's I know it's cliche, it's unbelievable. It's actually very hard to take in what that's like. I can't even remember it, to be honest, but I remember walking out and it's very overwhelming. But didn't add to nerves. But you could see after the fight, it meant a lot to me the other night, because I never thought, you know what I mean, I'd get to this stage years ago, to being on these shows so early. So it means so much to me to be there, getting the win in front of all those people. You know, it's goosebumps stuff for me. And it might seem like, you know, for boxing people, I seen one fella saying, what happened, did Thomas Carty win a world title? No, every fight's a world title fight to me. You know what I mean? That's how much it means to me to be on these stages. So the atmosphere is amazing. To see fellas I went to school with and stuff like that, my sponsors, family, you know what I mean, distant family, I have English family and stuff, like everyone there, and then to see random people shouting at me, it's madness. It was great, you know what I mean, it's very good. And it meant a lot to me there the other night. The atmosphere was what I expected. If not, it was actually better than I expected for me. I didn't expect to be so many people there. And as the night went on, I think the highlight of the night for me was Colin's ring walk. Anytime I see him fight, ring walk is unbelievable. You know what I mean?
I have a video of it there that Joe took. I'll send it to you. Yeah. Just ridiculous. Like.
No one does it like Mick Conlan. Him and McGregor now, they're the kings of the ring walk now, big time.
The fans really do get involved in the ring walk for them too. Did you speak to Eddie Hearn after the fight? There's always this narrative around Matchroom shows, and when a fighter is obviously, and we've spoken about this before, so I'll not stay on it too long, but you know, when you're on a Matchroom show but you're not signed to Matchroom, there's always this big narrative of, you know, you need to impress to try and get that Matchroom contract and, you know, impress Eddie and all this. Did you speak to Eddie after the fight, and, you know, could there be brewings of any talks of a contract?
Well, you know, I'm managed by Dillian White. Dillian White's been self-managed and a free agent for his whole career. That seems to be, like, as far as I know, I'm not going to get into too much business, that seems to be the way he manages his fighters then as well. We're in no rush to sign any promotional contract because it's going quite well at the moment. So we're not out to impress to try and get a contract off anybody in particular, you know what I mean? We're out to do our job, do the business, and grateful to be on the show. But I'm not out there trying to impress to get a contract off anybody. We're out doing the job, and I'm so grateful for Eddie Hearn to have me on the show, and hopefully someday he might want to sign me exclusively to Matchroom. Do you know what I mean? Because that'd be an honour for me. But we spoke after the fight just briefly. I was just messing with him. I said that was supposed to be a tough fight, and we were laughing about it and stuff like that. But then I got dragged off by security, so we had a short chat, and then I actually seen him there on that night, and he shook my hand. He said, you know, well done, great performance, stuff like that. Him and Frank Smith.
Class.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So let's move on a little bit just to talk about what's next for you. What do you want to do? I mean, there's been a few rumblings of, and I know that you were asked this post-fight about, or was it pre-fight, about Nick Campbell, maybe perhaps for a Celtic title, or you want the Irish title. What's next, and what do you want to do?
No, people love to, you know, create a good narrative and stuff like that. I was chatting about fighting for the Irish title because it means a lot to me. You know, I would love to have Tyson Fury's title. You know, I looked up to Tyson Fury all my life, always have. Even though he's fighting my manager now, I think my manager's going to win the fight. Still, I think he's inspirational, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, I have to back my manager all the way. And I do, you know, unbiased opinion, I do think he's going to win. But I would love to win Tyson Fury's Old Irish title, be the next person to win it. It would mean a lot to me. So that's where that was going with. Someone said, who's there to fight? I'm not going to get into names and stuff like that. I'd never fight Noel Kennedy. I have too much respect for Noel, and we're in the same gym. He's brought me on, sparring me through all the year. He used to always bring me in for sparring. The last couple of years when I was, you know, in my late teens all the way through, and I've learned so much from Noel. I'd never fight Noel. Too much respect for the man, you know what I mean? And hopefully, I know he has too much respect for me as well. It's not a fight that can be made, but I think anyone, I'm not going to start calling anybody else's name out because, you know, some people, we won't call any names out, right? We'll just leave it at that.
Okay, fair enough.
We won't get too far into it. But then someone said something about, well, if you can't fight for that, what about Celtic title? You can fight someone that's Scottish. No problem, you know what I mean? I'm not at a stage in my career to be calling people out, and I know people love, you know, a bit of a clickbait. Thomas Carty calls Nick Campbell out. No, but he's eligible to fight for a Celtic title. If he wants it, he wouldn't have to ask me twice. Do you know what I mean? I don't know whether it means that to him, but I just want to start fighting for titles and adding a couple of titles to my name, because in England it's a big thing to fight, you know, British title. Everybody wants British title, and it's quite a talked about subject. I'm not eligible to fight for it, and even if I was, I wouldn't, because I'm a proud Irishman. I want to fight for an Irish title, or a title that's relevant to Irish people. So Celtic title, someone said I'm eligible to fight for, so it is what it is. We'll have a look into it, whatever route it is, you know.
Fight between you and him go if you did get it on? Nick Campbell. He fought there a couple of weeks ago, didn't he, against Jay McFarlane on the...
Nick's a good fighter, sound bloke, very nice fella.
Yeah, Mark Dunlop managed as well.
Yeah, but it's Thomas Carty we're talking about here, you know what I mean? Come on, bro. No, of course, I back myself all the way. I back myself against anybody, do you know what I mean? So I won't get too much into how a fight would go. Nick's a good fighter, you know what I mean? I don't know what route you want to take with the career. I'm 26, I think he's 30 odd, he's getting on. Scottish heavyweight title, he might want to defend that or something like that. I don't know whether he'd even take the fight, but they wouldn't have to ask me twice.
No, never know.
Though, just want to get that in. Nick's a gent. I'm not one of these, and I know he doesn't call people out, but I'm not even calling him out here. No. I've asked you. People keep putting these questions to me, so I back myself all the way. You know,
100%. I know it's sometimes touchy asking guys about other fighters, like.
But you know what it is? What's mad, right? You get all boxing reporters and stuff like that. Not excluding Boxing Ireland, by the way, because Boxing Ireland are sound. Irishboxing.com. Would never ask any dodgy questions, but you get all these reporters trying to put beef between fighters, like trying to implant the beef, you know what I mean? Yeah. If you're a fighter, to me anyways, any fighter I've met, they're all gents. Like, there's no need for there to be any animosity between us, you know what I mean? These fights will eventually come and materialise when it's worth making, you know what I mean? So Nick's a gent. I just wanted to make sure he knows that, because he's probably watched this interview, you know, or there'll be some sort of clickbait. But yeah, we can get on if you want.
Very good. Thank you very much for inviting me up to your house, your lovely house here in PHIBSBORO.
Don't forget the cakes.
You want to see the setup here, right? Come in, coffee, cakes, the whole lot.
Come on, bro.
Unbelievable stuff.
I'm heavyweights in this house.
I'm coming back here more often. You won't be able to get rid of me now. I'll be up every day for coffee and cake. Tom, thanks very much, man. I really appreciate it. Talking to irishboxing.com. And we look forward to hearing when you're next out.
Me too. Me too, yeah.